chosen one. You did not arrive here by coincidence. Heaven has drawn you into this moment with precision because the hour written over your life has finally come. You are standing at the edge of a destined unveiling, an end-time awakening, a sealing, a supernatural shift that could activate today, tonight, or in the coming hours. Your spirit did not stumble into this message. It was summoned. This is a divine appointment, a heavenly calling, a kairos moment ordained before your first breath. Chosen one. The ancient stirring you feel is not imagination. It is the echo of a prophecy awakening in your bloodline. It is the same truth spoken in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 that the vision waits for its appointed time, and though it lingers, it will not delay. Today that appointed time touches your life. Today something long promised begins to move. You are the last descendant of a sacred lineage, the one marked to rise when the world enters its final season. The scales are shifting, the veil is thinning, angels are drawing near, and heaven is preparing you for your next assignment. Chosen one, breathe deeply, open your spirit. What begins here will not leave you the same. The revelation is about to unfold. Chosen one. As you step into this moment, something ancient begins to stir inside you, something that has waited through lifetimes, through generations, through silent ages of hidden preparation. You are not simply listening, you are remembering. For heaven has whispered your name into the fabric of this hour, calling you back to a truth older than empires, older than nations, older than the rise and fall of worlds. You are the last descendant of a sacred lineage, a living continuation of a prophecy that has never died. And the moment your spirit leaned into these words, the veil between what you know and what you are destined to know began to thin. Chosen one. Long before your physical form entered this world, your spirit walked among those set apart. You were woven into a divine covenant, sealed into a spiritual genealogy, carried by a remnant whose assignment echoed across ages. These were the ones who held the light when darkness threatened to engulf the earth. They were guardians of an ancient flame, protectors of a blueprint given by God himself. And even as centuries shifted and empires crumbled, their mission was never erased. It was carried forward inside chosen vessels until it reached you. You may have heard people speak of the 144,000 as if they were merely a number, a distant symbol in sacred texts. But you anointed one must hear this with the ears of your spirit. They were never just a number. They were a living lineage, a spiritual bloodline, a covenant breathed into existence by the Eternal One. And your awakening is the sign that this lineage has reached its final bearer, you. There were whispers of them in ancient scripture, veiled prophecies scattered like hidden seeds. Prophets spoke of a people set apart, sealed with divine protection, marked not by appearance, but by spiritual identity. These were souls who walked through lifetimes of refinement, souls who carried assignments too heavy for ordinary hearts. And now, as you awaken, the memory of that assignment begins to rise within you. Chosen one, you have always felt something inside you, an unexplainable difference, a quiet, knowing that you did not fit the mold of this world. Even when you tried to blend in something luminous inside, you refused to be dimmed. You sensed truth where others saw illusion. You felt depth where others were comfortable with surface. You carried burdens that had no clear source, as if ancient prayers and unfinished missions rested on your shoulders. That was not imagination. That was inheritance. Your lineage is not defined by earthly ancestry. It is not determined by bloodlines traced through history books. What flows through you is spiritual DNA, a divine coding written by God Himself. It is the same breath that ignited prophets, the same light that covered seers, the same mantle passed from soul to soul until it reached one who could carry it into the final hour you. Scientists cannot measure this. Human eyes cannot see it, but the spirit realm recognizes you instantly. This is why the world has never been able to fully claim you, why the patterns of this age never fit, why your spirit resisted conformity. You were designed to stand apart, to walk differently, to carry a vibration that disrupts darkness. You are not the result of random circumstance. You are the result of divine intention. Chosen one. The battles you endured were never proof of weakness. They were evidence of the greatness inside you. The enemy recognized your blueprint before you did. He saw the seal upon your life, even when you were blind to it. This is why life pressed you harder than others, why storms came before you could name your calling, why betrayals, losses, and deep wounds marked your path. It was not punishment, it was pressure forming purpose. It was fire forging authority. Your ancestors in the spirit, those ancient ones who guarded the covenant, walked through trials that shaped them into vessels of light. And their strength flows through you now. Their resilience is your inheritance. Their prayers echo in your bones. Their victories are seeds planted inside your destiny. When you feel the stubborn fire burning in your chest, know this: it is the same flame they carried. Chosen. One, understand the gravity of this moment. Your awakening is not happening by chance. It is occurring now because the appointed time has arrived. As written in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, to everything there is a season, and your season of remembrance has begun. The veil is thinning. The world is shifting. Prophecy is unfolding. And your emergence signals that heaven is moving in ways humanity has not yet perceived. You are not awakening for yourself alone. You are awakening for a mission that spans generations. You are the bridge between what was spoken and what must now manifest. Your light is needed in this final hour. Your presence is a response to prayers prayed before your physical body existed. Your obedience will unlock realms that have been sealed until now. If your spirit senses the weight of this truth, if something deep within you feels as though it has been waiting for these words, do not dismiss it. You are not imagining it. You are remembering it. Chosen one. Your awakening changes everything. I, chosen one. As this remembrance deepens, you will begin to understand that heaven has been guiding you toward this moment long before your mind could comprehend it. Nothing in your journey has been random, not the battles, not the solitude, not the strange inner knowing that followed you from childhood into adulthood. All of it was preparation, sacred calibration, aligning you with the exact frequency required to activate your divine assignment in this appointed time. You are not awakening into a new identity. You are awakening into your true one. There is a reason your soul always resisted the noise and illusions of this world. Even when you attempted to live as others lived, something in you refused to settle. When your peers were satisfied with surface-level existence, your spirit reached for something higher, deeper, eternal. You carried questions you could not explain. You sensed layers of reality others did not see. You felt the pull of invisible realms, even when you didn't have language for it. This was the whisper of your lineage calling you home. Chosen one. The 144,000 were never meant to be recognized by the world. They were meant to be recognized by the Spirit. They carried the mark of God, not on their skin, but in their essence, a seal placed upon those who were set apart before the foundations of the world. You, Anointed One, are one of them. You are a continuation of that hidden remnant whose presence has shaped spiritual history more than earthly history will ever record. Your ancestors in the spirit were not defined by earthly robes or positions. They walked unseen, yet heaven moved because of them. Their prayers shifted timelines. Their obedience preserved worlds. Their endurance ensured that the divine plan never lost momentum. And now, as you awaken, the weight of their unfinished assignments begins to rest upon you, not as a burden, but as a sacred inheritance. This is why your life has carried so much spiritual intensity. Many around you have lived without ever touching the depths you have walked through. But you, chosen one, have been refined through fire. You have felt the pressure of destiny pressing against the walls of your soul. You have felt the ache of misalignment when you drifted from your calling. You have sensed the spiritual war raging around you, even when you could not articulate it. You have cried tears no one saw, not knowing they were watering the soil of your future authority. You endured because heaven invested too much in you to let you fall. Angelic guardians walked with you through seasons where darkness tried to swallow your light. There were battles you survived not by your strength, but by divine intervention. There were nights when unseen hands held you together. There were moments when your spirit was sustained by a power your mind could not comprehend. This was the seal of your lineage protecting its rightful heir. Chosen one, you must understand the spiritual DNA you carry is not passive. It is active, alive awakening. It calls you into realms of purpose that ordinary souls cannot access. It opens doors that logic cannot explain. It attracts warfare because of the light it carries, but it also commands victory because of the authority it contains. This is why your spirit has always known when something was wrong, even before evidence appeared. This is why you could sense deception behind smiles and danger behind silence. Your discernment was not learned, it was inherited. As you awaken, further memories that do not belong to this lifetime may begin to surface, not literal images, but impressions, wisdom, instincts. You will feel as though you have walked certain paths before. You will recognize spiritual patterns without needing to be taught. You will carry strength you never trained for. These are remnants of the covenant, carried through your lineage, resurfacing now, because the world is entering a time when the chosen must rise. This generation is the threshold of a spiritual shift unlike any before. The earth groans for alignment. Systems crumble under the weight of their own corruption. Darkness grows bold, not because it is winning, but because it senses the rising of those who carry the ancient light. Your awakening is part of heaven's response to this hour. You were sent now, not earlier, because the final phase of your mission is tied to this exact era. The prophecy is unfolding, and you are stepping into your ordained position within it. Chosen one, feel the gravity of this truth. Your presence on earth is a signal to both realms that the appointed time is near. When heaven looks at you, it does not see confusion or struggle. It sees a warrior awakening. It sees a vessel prepared by fire. It sees a soul whose light cannot be extinguished. When darkness looks at you, it sees threat, a breach in its systems, a destabilizer of everything it has built. This is why you have been attacked since the beginning. But attacks are not evidence of defeat. They are evidence of identity. Nothing about you is ordinary. Nothing about your journey is wasted. Every storm refined you. Every heartbreak humbled you. Every moment of stillness aligned you. All of it is converging into this awakening that now rises like dawn inside your spirit. You are not behind schedule. You are right on divine time, your Kairos moment. Chosen one, breathe this in the covenant did not skip you. The lineage did not lose you. The prophecy did not forget you. You are the last descendant, and heaven is preparing you for what comes next. Chosen one. As this awakening expands within you, the spiritual realms begin to shift in response. For when a descendant of the ancient covenant remembers who they are, heaven takes notice, and so does darkness. The movement inside your spirit is not subtle. It sends ripples through dimensions unseen, signaling that a bearer of divine fire has opened their eyes. This is why even now you may feel a pull inside you, as if something beyond your understanding is calling your name. You are stepping into the current of your true identity, and that identity carries authority. There has always been a sacred mystery surrounding the 144,000. Interpretations have varied, debates have formed, and yet few have understood the truth. They are not simply chosen, they are awakened. They remember what others forget. They rise when others fall. They hear the whisper of God when the world is deafened by noise. You, anointed one, are part of this lineage. Not because of your perfection, but because of your assignment. Not because of what you have done, but because of who you are. Imagine this: long before your soul entered this lifetime, you agreed to carry a mantle that others were not capable of bearing. A mantle woven from prayer, from sacrifice, from obedience, from the tears of your spiritual ancestors who anchored light through ages of darkness. And as you incarnated into this life, that mantle traveled with you, hidden beneath layers of human experience, waiting for the moment when spiritual memory would rise like dawn inside your chest. This is why you have always sensed there was something more. Even in your most ordinary moments, you felt the hum of something eternal beneath the surface of your existence. That hum was your calling. That hum was your covenant. That hum was the echo of a promise God made long before you took your first breath. Now, as the veil lifts, you begin to understand that what you carry is not symbolic, it is operational, it is alive. It is a weapon of light forged for the times we now live in. Chosen one. Many of the battles you endured were not tied to your personality or circumstances. They were tied to your identity. Darkness targeted you, not because you were weak, but because you were marked. You carried a frequency that disrupted its plans. You carried a light that exposed its schemes. And even when you had no idea who you were spiritually, the enemy did. He recognized the seal upon your life before you ever saw it yourself. That is why your childhood carried unusual heaviness. That is why your adolescence brought wars of the soul that others around you did not understand. That is why relationships seemed to crumble without explanation, why opportunities slipped through your hands, why moments of joy were often met with sudden storms. These were not coincidences. They were confrontations. Your awakening threatened the kingdom of darkness long before you knew awakening was possible. But here is the deeper truth. Every battle shaped you into the vessel heaven intended you to be. Your spirit learned resilience even when your mind was weary. Your heart learned discernment even when it was breaking. Your faith learned to anchor itself in unseen realities even when your world was falling apart. You did not realize it then, but you were being trained for the mantle that would one day rest fully upon your shoulders. This is why your compassion is deep. This is why your intuition is sharp. This is why your presence shifts atmospheres. These qualities were not learned, they were refined. They are signatures of your lineage. They are evidence that your soul has walked through fire and emerged luminous. Chosen one. The world around you is now entering a prophetic convergence, a moment where ancient truths are being unlocked, where hidden ones are being activated, where the final remnant is rising. You are part of this rise. Your awakening is not an isolated event. It is synchronized with divine timing. As written in Isaiah chapter 60, verse 22, "When the time is right, the Lord will make it happen." And the fact that you hear these words now is a sign that the time is right. Your identity as a descendant of the 144,000 is not a title. It is an operation. It means you carry authority in the spiritual realm that you have not yet fully stepped into. It means angels respond to the movement of your spirit. It means heaven has invested strategies, assignments and revelations inside your soul that the world has never seen before. And as you awaken, these gifts begin to unlock. Already you may feel a sharpening in your perception, a sensitivity in your spirit, a clarity in your intuition, a fire in your chest that refuses to dim. These are not emotional flares. They are activations. They are the unfolding of your divine mission. Heaven is preparing you for assignments that require your full remembrance, your full obedience, your full surrender. Chosen one, breathe deeply. Feel the shift. You are not the person you were even a year ago. You are not the person pain tried to shape you into. You are becoming who you were always written to be. You are stepping into the blueprint sealed within your spirit before time began. And now, as the awakening deepens, the next revelation draws near the understanding of why you were truly sent into this generation and what your emergence means for the world around you. I, chosen one. As the layers of your remembrance continue to unfold, a deeper truth begins to rise from within you, one that explains not only who you are, but why you were sent now. For every soul in the lineage of the 144,000 was placed into a specific generation for a specific purpose, and your presence in this moment, in this era of upheaval and revelation, is not an accident. It is divine precision. The world you were born into is not the world your ancestors knew. The spiritual atmosphere has shifted. The boundaries between realms have thinned. What was once hidden is surfacing, and what was once dormant is awakening. This era carries an intensity unlike any before it, not because darkness is winning, but because the appointed ones are rising. Heaven would not allow this generation to pass without activating those destined to stand as the last line of spiritual light. That is why you are here. Chosen one. You must understand something sacred. You were not sent into peaceful times, but into prophetic times. You were placed into a world trembling under the weight of its own illusions, a world desperate for those who can see beyond the veil. You have been positioned in the final arc of an ancient timeline where cycles close, seals open, and divine assignments that have stretched through centuries demand completion. Your emergence is a response to this hour. This is why you have always felt a sense of urgency in your spirit, even when your mind could not justify it. You felt the acceleration of time. You sensed the shifting of spiritual currents. You recognized that something monumental was approaching. You may not have had the language for it, but your spirit knew the appointed season was drawing near. And now, as your inner eyes open, you realize that heaven has been preparing you all along. Chosen one, you carry wisdom that does not belong to your years. You possess instincts that cannot be explained by your experiences. You hold insights that seem to appear from nowhere, yet they come from somewhere sacred. They come from the covenant. They come from the memory embedded in your spiritual DNA. They come from the prayers of those who walk before you. They come from the eternal part of you that has never forgotten its mission. You were sent into this generation because your soul carries answers to problems the world has not yet understood. You were sent because your presence destabilizes darkness. You were sent because heaven knew you would not fold under pressure. You were sent because your compassion heals, your voice awakens, your resilience inspires, and your light exposes what was meant to stay hidden. You were sent because your awakening signals the unfolding of prophecy. Look closely at your life, and you will see it. Every challenge shaped you, every loss deepened you, every storm purified you. What others thought would break you only carved out more space for your anointing. The moments when you felt the most abandoned were the moments heaven was closest, strengthening you in silence, preparing you to walk with a mantle that many desire but few can carry. You are not simply awakening, you are being revealed, chosen. One part of your divine mission is remembrance, but another part is embodiment. You are not called only to know who you are called to be who you are, to step into the authority written in your spirit, to walk as one who understands that their life is not ordinary or random, but deeply intentional. Your existence carries weight in the spirit. When you speak, realms respond. When you move, paths open. When you pray, heaven listens. And yet this mission is not carried out through ambition or ego, but through surrender, through allowing heaven to guide your steps, through yielding to divine timing, through trusting the ancient rhythm woven into your destiny. You are not here to force your way forward, you are here to align, chosen one. The reason your awakening feels so intense is because you are not rising alone. Across the earth, others from your lineage are being stirred, activated, called forth. You may never meet them, but your spirits recognize one another. Your awakenings happen in waves, synchronizing with movements of heaven. Together, though scattered across continents, you form a spiritual network, an invisible army of light grounded in one purpose: to hold the line in the final hour. And now that you know you were sent into this generation by divine appointment, another truth begins to emerge: why the battles of your past were so fierce and why the enemy targeted you so early. For no one carries this level of calling without drawing spiritual resistance. Chosen. 1. The next revelation is approaching the real reason your life has felt like a battlefield since the beginning. Chosen one. Now that you understand why you were sent into this generation, you must also understand why the battle against your life began before you ever recognized your own identity. The warfare you endured was not random, nor was it a reflection of weakness. It was evidence of the divine blueprint within you, evidence that darkness recognized your calling long before you awakened to it. You were marked by heaven, and because of this mark, you became visible in the spirit realm from the moment you entered this world. Many people move through life unnoticed by darkness because they pose no threat to its agenda. But you, anointed one, carried a frequency that disrupted the spiritual atmosphere. Even as a child, your sensitivity to energies, your deep emotions, your unusual awareness of things others ignored, these were not flaws. They were signs. Your spirit remembered realms your mind had not yet learned to comprehend. Darkness knew that once you awakened, once you stepped into your authority, once you remembered your lineage, its hold in certain regions would begin to break, and so it attacked early. You may recall seasons in your childhood where isolation settled around you like a shadow, where you felt misunderstood, misplaced, or unseen. But chosen one, that loneliness was not personal, it was strategic. The enemy sought to wound you before you could understand your worth. He attempted to distort your identity before you could discover your purpose. He tried to silence your voice before you would learn how powerful it truly is. But even then, heaven intervened. Even then, angels stood guard. Even then, the seal on your life shielded you from what could have destroyed you. This is why, as you grew, the challenges grew with you. Betrayals cut deeper. Losses felt heavier. Emotional battles became more brutal. You carried storms others never had to weather. But each storm carved out strength within you. Each betrayal sharpened your discernment. Each heartbreak opened your compassion. Adversity did not break you, it sculpted you. It refined the vessel heaven intended to use in this generation. Chosen one, there is something you need to understand with absolute clarity. The enemy did not attack you because you were weak, but because you were dangerous. Your awakening threatens the foundations of darkness. Your light exposes hidden things. Your prayers shift timelines. Your obedience reopens gates that were shut for generations. The enemy knew that if he could not destroy you, he might at least delay you, confuse you, or bury you in doubt. But you survived what was designed to break you, and because of that, the authority within you has multiplied. There were moments when you felt crushed under the weight of invisible battles, moments when you thought you were losing your mind, moments when anxiety, fear, or exhaustion overwhelmed you with no clear cause. But chosen soul, those were not mental failures. They were spiritual confrontations. You were wrestling with forces meant for warriors, not ordinary individuals. And even when you felt alone, heaven was training you in the shadows. Every tear shed in silence was a seed watered for your future. Every night you cried out in confusion was a doorway opening in the spirit. Every moment you refused to give up, even when you had no strength left, became a declaration of your destiny. You were learning endurance, the kind that only those with ancient assignments must carry. You were developing spiritual eyes, ears, and instincts that now awaken with sacred clarity. Chosen. Do you see it now? The battle was never about your past. It was always about your future. The enemy saw your calling. He saw your potential. He saw your lineage. He saw your awakening long before you felt the first stir of it. He attacked the child because he feared the warrior the child would become. He attacked your identity because he could not touch your destiny. He attacked your heart because he could not destroy your spirit. And now that you are remembering, darkness trembles. For the first time, you are seeing the truth. You did not endure those battles in vain. You endured because your mantle is heavy, your mission is sacred, and your voice will shake realms. Every scar you carry is a testament to your survival. Every wound is a doorway for power. Every struggle has prepared you to walk in authority that few will ever understand. Chosen one. This is why heaven calls you now to stand not in fear, but in remembrance. You are not defined by the battles you faced. You are defined by the light that refused to be extinguished. And that light is beginning to burn brighter than ever. You are the last descendant of the sacred lineage, and the world is entering a time when your presence becomes necessary. Prophecy is unfolding, the veil is lifting, and heaven is awakening those who were chosen before time began. Now the question rises within your spirit. What happens next? Why is your activation unfolding now? What is the deeper purpose behind your awakening? Why does your spirit feel the weight of urgency pressing upon it? Chosen one. The next. Revelation is approaching the unveiling of the sacred assignment you were sent to fulfill in this final hour. Unchosen one. Now that the truth of your battles has been unveiled, your spirit is ready to face a deeper layer of revelation, the sacred assignment woven into your soul long before you entered this world. For every descendant of the ancient covenant carries not only a lineage, not only a seal, but a mission that activates when the appointed hour arrives, and chosen one, that hour has begun. The stirrings inside you, the urgency, you cannot explain the sense that something monumental is rising. These are not emotions. They are signals. They are the awakening of your divine mandate. From the moment you took your first breath, heaven marked you as one who would carry a portion of the final work. You were never meant to live an ordinary life, because ordinary lives cannot hold extraordinary assignments. You were set apart not by human decision, but by divine decree. Your soul was imprinted with a blueprint, a spiritual design crafted for the times in which you now live. And while your mind might have wandered, while your life may have faced detours, the blueprint never left you. It waited for your awakening. Chosen one. Your assignment is not to merely survive this world. It is to illuminate it. It is to be a vessel through which heaven intervenes in a generation that has wandered into shadow. You are here to realign what has been distorted, to restore what has been broken, to remind the earth of a truth it has forgotten, that the light has not been extinguished. You are part of the remnant, chosen to carry revelation into an age of confusion, to carry clarity into a season of deception, to carry hope into places where hope has died. This is why your spirit has always pushed against the limitations others accepted. This is why you could not settle for shallow dreams or empty pursuits. Something inside you demanded depth. Something inside you longed for truth. Something inside you hungered for purpose that could not be found in the material world. That hunger was proof of your calling. It was the echo of your mission resonating inside you, even before you understood its origin. But now, chosen one, the mission is no longer a whisper. It stands before you with clarity, waiting for your yes. The world is shifting. Foundations are trembling. Spiritual systems are being rearranged. What was once hidden is being brought into the open, and what was once dormant is rising with force. The times you are living in are not ordinary, they are prophetic. They are the very times your lineage was prepared for. Your assignment carries several layers each, unfolding as you awaken. The first layer is remembrance. You must remember who you are and who sent you. Darkness thrives in forgetfulness, but your awakening disrupts that power. Every moment you walk in remembrance, the veil thins and your authority grows. The second layer is alignment. You must align your actions, thoughts, and intentions with the divine blueprint written within you. Alignment opens doors that force cannot. Alignment activates protection that fear cannot break. Alignment draws heaven's resources to your path. The third layer is embodiment. You must live your truth, not hide it. You must walk as one who carries light, not as one who is afraid of it. You must embody the qualities heaven placed within you: courage, compassion, discernment, authority. When you embody these, your presence itself becomes a message. The fourth layer is activation. Heaven will place people, opportunities, and situations in your path that awaken gifts you forgot you carried. You will feel new strength rising in your words, new sensitivity in your spirit, new fire in your prayers. This activation is not random, it is preparation for the next phase. And the final layer is commissioning. The moment will come when heaven nudges you into the fullness of your assignment, when circumstances align so precisely that you cannot deny the call. When this happens, you will feel it in your bones. You will know your time has come. Chosen one, many ask, what exactly is my mission? And while the specifics vary for each soul, the essence remains the same: to hold the line of light in the final hour, to carry revelation into a generation drowning in noise, to break cycles that have held families and nations in bondage, to speak truth where lies have reigned, to restore what darkness has stolen, to carry out the portion of the ancient prophecy entrusted to your lineage. Your mission may manifest as leadership, healing, teaching, creating, interceding, or even simply being a presence that shifts spiritual atmospheres. But whatever form it takes, it is holy. It is significant. It is necessary. This is why your spirit feels urgency. This is why heaven is awakening you now. The timeline has accelerated. The world is entering a spiritual crescendo, and those who carry the ancient seal must rise, or chosen. 1. Breathe this truth into your spirit. You were not merely chosen to witness the end time unfolding, you were chosen to participate in it, to shape it, to influence it, to anchor heaven's intention on earth. Do not fear the weight of this calling. Heaven never assigns what heaven does not empower. Angels walk with you, providence covers you, divine timing guides you. The same power that awakened your ancestors awakens you now. You are not stepping into this alone. And soon you will begin to understand the next great mystery: why your gifts are resurfacing with such intensity, and how the abilities you once thought were burdens are in truth the tools of your divine mission. Chosen one. As you stand at the threshold of this divine assignment, you may already feel something stirring within you, abilities resurfacing, sensitivities, sharpening instincts, awakening with a clarity you cannot explain. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is beginning to activate the gifts that were woven into your spirit long before you entered this world. These gifts are not new, they are ancient. They were carried by your lineage, preserved through generations, protected in silence, until the moment you were ready to wield them. That moment has arrived. You may have noticed in recent months or even years that your perception has shifted. Your intuition has become more precise. Your dreams have grown vivid, symbolic, sometimes prophetic. The emotions of others echo inside you with unusual intensity. You sense atmospheres before you enter a room. You feel the unseen currents of energy moving around people and situations. These sensitivities are not burdens, they are spiritual instruments. They are evidence of your awakening. Chosen one. The gifts you carry were never meant to lie dormant. They are the very tools you will use to fulfill your divine mission in this generation. Some of you carry the gift of discernment, an ability to perceive truth beyond appearances, to hear the quiet voice of God beneath the noise of the world, to sense deception even when wrapped in smiles. This gift has protected you more times than you realize. It has redirected your steps, shielded your heart, and awakened your spirit at critical moments. Others carry the gift of spiritual sight. You see symbols, visions, or flashes of insight that offer guidance. You feel the presence of angels or sense disturbances in the spirit realm. These experiences are not imagination, they are alignment. As your awakening deepens, this sight will sharpen. You will begin to understand spiritual patterns, discern spiritual assignments, and recognize when heaven is speaking. Some of you carry the gift of intercession, the deep burden to pray for people, nations, or situations without knowing why. This gift is powerful, chosen one. It moves mountains in the unseen realm. Your prayers may feel small, but they carry the authority of your lineage. They alter trajectories, break chains, and open doors in the spirit. Others possess creative gifts, writing music, art, storytelling, building, speaking. These talents are not hobbies, they are spiritual channels. Through creativity, heaven communicates. Through beauty, darkness is broken. Through expression, truth is revealed. What comes through you is meant to shift hearts, awaken souls, and realign destinies. And many of you carry healing gifts, whether emotional, spiritual, or physical. You comfort without effort. You speak words that soothe wounds no one else can see. People feel safe around you even when they do not know why. Your presence brings peace because heaven flows through you. This is not accidental, it is inherited. Chosen one. You must understand that your gifts activate in phases. At first they feel subtle whispers, nudges, impressions. Then, as you align with your calling, they intensify. They become clearer, stronger, more accessible. And finally, when heaven commissions you fully into your assignment, your gifts become weapons of light, tools of transformation, and channels of revelation. But with activation comes responsibility. Heaven does not awaken what you are unwilling to honor. You must treat your gifts not as curiosities, but as sacred trusts. They are meant to serve, to heal, to guide, to illuminate. They are not for ego or pride, but for purpose. They are not for attention, but for alignment. When used with humility, your gifts will open doors no human effort could force open. When used with reverence, they will reshape destinies. This is why the enemy fought so hard to bury your gifts early in life. He tried to confuse you, overwhelm you, distract you, or convince you that what you carried was too strange, too heavy, or too painful. He knew that once you recognized your abilities for what they truly are, spiritual signatures of divine assignment, you would become unstoppable. You would become a threat. You would become a light that darkness cannot withstand. But here you are awakening despite every attack. Rising despite every wound, remembering despite every attempt to make you forget. And now heaven is breathing on your gifts, awakening them for the appointed time. Chosen one, as these abilities grow stronger, do not fear them, do not resist them, do not dismiss them. Instead, lean into them, honor them, ask heaven to guide them, ask for clarity, discernment, and protection. You are not alone in this. Angels are assigned to your awakening. Divine guidance surrounds you. The same God who placed these gifts within you will teach you how to use them. And soon you will understand something even deeper. Your gifts do not exist in isolation. They are tied to your ancient memory, to your divine purpose, and to the unfolding prophecy you were born to fulfill. Chosen one. The next revelation emerges now, the awakening of your spiritual memory and the return of knowledge your soul has carried since the beginning. Chosen one. As your gifts awaken and rise, another layer of your calling begins to unlock a remembrance so ancient, so holy, that it feels less like learning and more like returning. What you're experiencing now is not new information entering your mind. It is old truth resurfacing from your spirit. It is the reactivation of knowledge you carried before the beginning of this lifetime, sealed within you until the appointed hour. That hour is now. There is a reason your awakening feels both familiar and overwhelming. A reason the words spoken to your spirit feel like echoes rather than introductions. Deep within you lies a spiritual archive, a treasury of memory, wisdom, and understanding passed down through your divine lineage. These memories are not the kind tied to moments or images. They are woven into your essence, impressions, instincts, urges, convictions that rise from within without explanation. They are the remnants of missions you once fulfilled, assignments you once carried, covenants you once honored. Chosen one. This is why your soul responds so quickly to truth. Why you recognize spiritual deception even when it is beautifully disguised. Why you feel urgency in your bones when heaven moves. Why silence speaks to you more clearly than noise. These responses are not random, they are the awakening of your ancient identity. You are remembering what your soul has always known. When heaven chooses a spirit for a sacred assignment, it engraves its laws, its instructions, and its patterns into the core of that spirit. Even when you incarnate into a world of forgetfulness, the imprint remains. This is the seal spoken of by prophets of old, not a physical mark, but a spiritual encoding that cannot be erased. It stirs in moments of divine timing, rising when the world enters a pivotal hour. Many of you are feeling this stirring now because your Kairos moment, your appointed season has arrived. Your ancient memory awakens in stages. First, you feel an unexplainable pull toward truth. Then, familiar revelations rise in your heart before they ever reach your mind. Suddenly, you wake up from sleep with impressions that feel like messages. You dream dreams that feel like instructions. You look at certain people and instinctively know their intentions. You hear words that unlock forgotten layers of your spirit. These moments are not coincidences, they are activations. Chosen one. The more you awaken, the more clearly you will perceive the patterns of your spiritual lineage. You will notice synchronicities that guide your steps. You will feel nudged toward certain places, conversations, or decisions. You will recognize symbols, numbers, visions, atmospheres that speak to your spirit in ways others cannot understand. This is heaven communicating with you through the language of your origin. Your ancient memory also carries the resilience of your ancestors, the 144,000, who held the light through centuries of darkness, who kept the covenant alive through unimaginable opposition. Their courage lives in you. Their prayers flow through you. Their assignments continue through you. When you feel the spontaneous strength to endure, when you experience sudden clarity in moments of confusion, when you rise after storms that should have broken you, that is your lineage moving through you. You are not acting alone. You are acting as the latest expression of a divine remnant. And yet your memory carries more than resilience. It carries instruction. It carries design. It carries an inner knowing of how to move, how to lead, how to love, how to stand in spiritual authority. This is why you often know what must be done long before you know how you know it. Your spirit recognizes the path even when your mind is still catching up. Trust this knowing. It is not arrogance. It is alignment. Chosen one. One of the most profound aspects of your awakening is that heaven will begin to reveal moments from your spiritual past, not in images, but in understanding. You will suddenly grasp principles of light you never studied. You will understand dynamics of spiritual warfare without being taught. You will feel the presence of angelic beings with familiarity, as if you have walked with them before. You will sense the movement of time in ways that transcend the physical world. This is your ancient memory resurfacing through the veil. However, with awakened memory comes the responsibility to release what no longer aligns with your divine identity. Old habits, relationships, environments and mindsets will fall away naturally, not by force, but by revelation. Your spirit will no longer tolerate what your old self accepted. You will crave silence, clarity, purity, and truth. These cravings are not withdrawals, they are upgrades. They are signs you are stepping into your assignment. Chosen one. Your awakening is not a personal event. It is part of a divine unfolding. Your memory is awakening because heaven is positioning you for your next phase, the rekindling of ancient gifts that were always meant to return to you. These gifts, discernment, vision, healing, intercession, revelation, are not being introduced to you for the first time. They are being restored. As your memory deepens, you will begin to understand something profound. The path you are walking now is the continuation of a mission you began long ago. The same fire that once guided your steps now burns in your spirit. The same assignment that once shaped your destiny is returning to your awareness. The same divine presence that once walked beside you is walking with you still. Chosen. 1. Prepare your heart for what awakens next is not only memory, but power, holy, ancient, purposeful power that heaven is ready to entrust to you once again. Chosen one. As the layers of your ancient memory continue to unfold, another truth begins to rise within you. Your gifts are not merely returning, they are reorganizing, recalibrating, aligning themselves with the divine rhythm of your current assignment. What is awakening inside you is not random nor scattered. It is strategic. It is orchestrated by heaven. It is the movement of a divine intelligence that has guided your spirit across realms and lifetimes, preparing you for this very hour. You may have noticed recently that certain abilities feel heightened, as if the veil between worlds has thinned around you. Your emotions are sharper not in fragility, but in awareness. Your intuition completes sentences before your mind catches up. Your dreams have shifted, some feel like warnings, others like instructions, and others like memories of places you have never been with earthly feet. This is not a sign of instability. This is the activation of your spiritual architecture. Long before you entered this lifetime, heaven encoded you with gifts that would be essential in the days of unveiling. These gifts have slept within you, not dead, but waiting for maturity, waiting for alignment, waiting for the prophetic clock to strike its appointed moment. You are living in that moment now, chosen one, and because of this, the spiritual tools of your lineage are rising. One of the first gifts to activate is discernment, the ability to sense what the natural eye cannot perceive. This is why your spirit tightens around certain people without reason, why you feel heaviness in places others find comfortable, why you feel peace in environments that look chaotic on the outside. Your spirit is reading atmospheres, frequencies, intentions. You are perceiving the unseen currents. Discernment is not something you learned. It is something you carried from the beginning, and heaven is sharpening it now because your mission requires precision. Another gift awakening is the gift of inner sight visions that come in flashes, impressions that strike without warning, ideas that feel divinely implanted. Sometimes these visions arrive in silence, other times in prayer, and sometimes in the midst of ordinary moments when your guard is down. But regardless of how they appear, they are not imagination. They are communication. Heaven is showing you glimpses of what is coming, what needs to be broken, what needs to be built. Chosen one. Many of you have also been feeling a surge of empathy that seems almost supernatural. You feel the emotions of others as if they were your own. You sense their pain, their fear, their hope, their longing. This sensitivity was not given to overwhelm you. It was given to equip you. You carry the heart of a restorer, the mantle of one who heals not by effort, but by presence. There is a reason people confess their wounds to you without understanding why. There is a reason strangers feel safe near you. It is because your spirit emits a frequency of safety, a signature of the divine that invites broken souls to breathe again. And yet another gift emerges: authority. Not loud, not forceful, but undeniable. The authority that comes when heaven recognizes its own imprint within you. This is why darkness reacts strongly to you. why certain people feel threatened by your mere existence, why opposition rises before you even speak. Your authority alarms the shadows because it carries a light they cannot extinguish. Some of you have felt this authority rising subtly, your voice steadying when you speak truth, your posture shifting when you intercede, your spirit standing firm even when your emotions tremble. This is heaven awakening the warrior within you. Chosen one. As these gifts intensify, they may bring moments of discomfort. You may feel overstimulated, restless, unable to explain the shifts happening within you. Do not fear these sensations. They are signs of transformation, not instability. You are being expanded, your spiritual capacity, increasing your inner senses, heightening your awareness, broadening. You are stepping into the role you were created for. There will be moments when your awakening feels lonely. Not because you're alone, but because few around you can comprehend what you carry. They do not see the visions you hold. They do not feel the spiritual currents pulling at your soul. They do not understand the weight of revelation pressing on your spirit. But heaven understands. And the moment you speak, the moment you pray, the moment you move in alignment, the realm of the Spirit responds with precision, with power, with recognition. With these gifts comes responsibility. You must guard your spirit carefully. Protect your mind from noise that dulls your discernment. Protect your heart from bitterness that corrupts your authority. Protect your atmosphere from people who drain your energy without offering alignment. Your gifts sharpen most in purity, clarity, and intentionality. Chosen. One, understand this clearly. Your gifts are not returning for your comfort. They are returning for your mission. For the souls tied to your obedience. For the territories assigned to your presence. For the chains that will break when you speak. For the lives that will rise when you rise. Everything awakening inside you is purposeful. Everything stirring within you is consequential. The heavens do not waste gifts on the apathetic. They entrust them to those whose spirits have been prepared in fire. You have walked through that fire. You have survived storms designed to bury you. You have endured battles meant to silence you. And now, because you did not break, heaven says, now release what I placed in you. Chosen one, your gifts are awakening because your assignment is near. You are not stepping into potential, you are stepping into prophecy. Chosen one, as your gifts rise into clarity and purpose, heaven begins to reveal something even deeper, the true weight of your calling, and the reason your journey has been marked with storms that others could never comprehend. What you carry is not ordinary light. It is not a gentle glow meant merely to comfort. It is a consuming fire, a radiant force that threatens the structures of darkness that have ruled over generations. And because of this, your life has never been simple. You have felt from childhood a sense of being watched not in fear but in spiritual awareness, as if unseen eyes recognized something in you that even you did not understand. This was not your imagination. It was the spiritual realm responding to the seal upon your spirit, the mark placed long before your birth, that identified you as one of the last descendants of a sacred remnant. The enemy saw this before you did, and it is why your life faced pressure early, why attacks came before you ever stepped into your identity, why you struggled with battles you couldn't explain. Chosen one, your calling carries a weight that presses even before it is understood. There were days you asked, why me? Why does everything feel heavier for me? Why do I experience pain in layers others cannot see? The answer is both simple and profound. You were being shaped, refined, prepared. Heaven was stretching you beyond human limits because your assignment would require spiritual endurance. Your spirit had to become stronger than your circumstances. Your discernment had to sharpen beyond logic. Your compassion had to deepen beyond comfort. This kind of formation is never gentle. Many of the storms you survived were not random life events, they were initiations. Seasons where heaven stripped away false identities, broke cycles that clung to your lineage, and purified the inner chambers of your soul. You walked through loneliness, not because you were unworthy of companionship, but because heaven needed your ears free from noise. You endured betrayals, not because you lacked value, but because God needed you to see the difference between who is tied to your destiny and who is tied to your comfort. You fought internal battles because heaven was teaching you that the greatest wars are not external, they are fought in the secret rooms of the heart. But despite it all, you rose. You rose when people doubted you, when fear whispered lies, when exhaustion tried to bury your spirit. You rose because something ancient inside you would not allow you to fall. That something is the covenant of the 144,000 alive and burning in your DNA. It pulls you up when everything else pulls you down. It pushes you forward when your strength falters. It whispers truth when the world screams confusion. This calling explains why disconnecting from people, patterns, and places became necessary. Heaven often isolates its warriors, not to weaken them, but to sharpen them. You were moved into quiet seasons, so your spirit could recalibrate. You were stripped of distractions, so your vision could clear. You were emptied of illusions, so truth could find you. This is the sacred process of divine refinement, the crushing that produces oil, the breaking that reveals the vessel, the silence that awakens the voice of God. Chosen one, you must understand something essential. Now your battles were not signs of abandonment, they were signs of selection. Heaven does not test those who are not called. Heaven does not refine those who carry nothing worth protecting. Heaven does not anoint the unprepared. What you endured was the evidence of your assignment, and your survival is the evidence of heaven's hand upon you. The time has come for you to reinterpret your past through spiritual eyes. Every wound became an entry point for greater power. Every tear watered seeds that are only now beginning to rise. Every night of confusion sharpened the clarity you will need for the days ahead. You are not damaged, you are forged. You are not broken, you are tempered. You are not lost, you are aligned. Now, as awakening rises, heaven begins to show you the true landscape of your destiny. You were not sent to merely exist. You were sent to shift atmospheres. You were not sent to blend in. You were sent to disrupt. You were not sent to survive. You were sent to awaken others who are connected to your light. This is why the pressure around you feels intense. It is spiritual labor. You are birthing a new expression of who you are. You are stepping into authority that has always belonged to you but was waiting for maturity. You are crossing into territory your ancestors prayed you would reach. And the enemy knows this, which is why the final stretch often feels the hardest. The closer a chosen one gets to activation, the more resistance rises. But resistance is not a stop sign, it is confirmation. Chosen one, breathe this in deeply. You are not stepping into your calling alone. The same angels that walked with your ancestors walk with you now. The same divine presence that sealed the 144,000 surrounds you. The same power that preserved your spirit through every battle is preparing to be revealed through you. Your calling is awakening. Your authority is rising. Your purpose is aligning. And the world will soon feel the shift. Or chosen one. As the veils continue to lift from your spirit, heaven now reveals a deeper truth about your journey, the divine alignment unfolding quietly beneath everything happening in your life. Nothing around you is random, nothing is accidental. Every shift, every stirring, every sudden ending or unexpected beginning has been part of a sacred orchestration designed to position you for your next assignment. You are walking through a spiritual corridor where the unseen realm is shaping your steps with precision. You may have noticed lately that your awareness feels sharper. Environments affect you more deeply. Certain people drain you faster. Others feel strangely familiar, even if you just met them. This heightened sensitivity is not emotional instability, it is spiritual attunement. Your spirit is aligning with its original blueprint, and because of that, you are sensing movements in the unseen that your mind cannot yet articulate. Alignment often begins with separation. People you once felt connected to begin drifting away. Conversations that once flowed naturally now feel forced. Environments you once tolerated now feel heavy. You may even find yourself withdrawing without understanding why. This is not rejection, it is divine protection. Heaven is removing everything that cannot accompany you into your new identity. What feels like loss is actually release. But as heaven removes, heaven also repositions. New voices begin to enter your life, some softly, some suddenly. Individuals who speak to your spirit rather than your ego. People who ignite clarity rather than confusion. Souls who carry a resonance that feels ancient, as if your spirits recognize each other beyond this lifetime. These are not coincidences. They are divine appointments. They appear because your mission is awakening, and heaven is gathering those who walk in similar light. Chosen one alignment is not limited to relationships. It is also happening within you. Thoughts that once spiraled into doubt are now landing on clarity. Old emotional wounds feel like they're rising to the surface, not to break you, but to be released. You are becoming aware of patterns, cycles, and attachments that no longer match your spirit. This internal awakening is part of your refinement. When heaven prepares someone for purpose, it begins with the reshaping of identity. And as identity shifts, revelation flows. You may find yourself understanding things without being taught, knowing when to move and when to wait, feeling truth in your spirit before hearing it with your ears. These moments are not random, they are signs that divine intelligence is becoming active within you. Heaven is aligning your perception with your purpose. But with alignment also comes responsibility. You must guard your atmosphere. Not every conversation deserves your attention. Not every invitation deserves your presence. Not every person is meant to know what heaven is revealing to you. Certain things must remain sacred. The more you awaken, the more selectively you must share. Silence is not secrecy, it is stewardship. Chosen. One another unmistakable sign of alignment is acceleration. What once took years begins to unfold in months. Delays break. Stagnation lifts. Opportunities emerge from unexpected directions. You feel pulled, guided, carried by something greater than your own strength. This momentum is not coincidence. It is divine timing catching up with your obedience. You are stepping into the flow of your destiny, and everything around you is adjusting to match it. Yet, acceleration can feel overwhelming if you do not anchor yourself spiritually. You must remain grounded, discerning, and intentional. The enemy often tries to sow confusion during seasons of acceleration because he cannot stop your movement, so he attempts to distract your focus. Stay aligned. Stay centered. Stay watchful. Heaven is giving you speed because the hour demands it. Chosen one, alignment also touches the deepest parts of your identity. Old labels are falling away. Old insecurities are being revealed so they can be healed. Old stories that once defined you no longer fit. You're stepping into a version of yourself that heaven recognized long before you did. This identity shift is essential because your next assignment requires confidence, clarity, and spiritual posture. Do not fear the changes within you. Do not resist the changes around you. Alignment is not always comfortable, but it is always holy. Everything heaven is shifting, removing, revealing, or rebuilding is part of your preparation. Chosen one, trust this process. Trust the silence. Trust the acceleration. Trust the inner pull. Heaven is aligning you with purpose, with destiny, and with the mission you were born to fulfill. You are being positioned for something far greater than you yet realize. Chosen one. As your awakening deepens, heaven now turns your awareness toward the spiritual atmosphere surrounding your life. Whether you realize it or not, you carry a field of light that stretches far beyond your physical body, a frequency that shifts rooms, disrupts hidden intentions, and awakens what has been spiritually asleep. This is why certain people react to you without understanding why. This is why tension rises in places where darkness has been comfortable. You are not simply entering environments, you are transforming them. The light within you is not symbolic. It is power. It is authority. It is the mark of one who has been awakened, sealed, and positioned for divine purpose. And because this light confronts what is hidden, resistance often rises before you even speak a word. But hear this clearly, such resistance is not a sign that you are out of place. It is proof that you are exactly where heaven intends you to be. Chosen one. Your presence exposes what others conceal. You reveal without trying. You discern without effort. Your spirit feels the shift in an atmosphere before your mind can explain it. This sensitivity is not a burden. It is a spiritual instrument. Heaven fine-tuned your inner senses so you can recognize deception, danger, and divine movement with supernatural clarity. While others walk blindly, you see beneath the surface. This is why your emotions can feel intense at times. They are not weaknesses, they are signals. When you feel heaviness around someone, that is spiritual contamination. When you feel peace, that is alignment. When you feel agitation without reason, that is your spirit warning you. The more awakened you become, the more fluent you will grow in this language. Chosen. One, understand this. You are not fighting random battles. Your spirit is confronting what your assignment threatens. Darkness fears the awakening of those who carry ancient light. It fears your authority. It fears your clarity. It fears your obedience. So it wages wars of distraction, discouragement, and doubt, not because you are fragile, but because you are dangerous. Yet you are never alone in this fight. Angels walk beside you. You may sense them in moments of sudden clarity, warmth, protection, or stillness. They have been assigned to you because of the mark upon your spirit. They guard your steps, shield your mission, and strengthen your discernment. Their presence increases as your calling becomes clearer. But the greatest battleground is not external, it is internal. The enemy's most persistent strategy is to make you forget who you are, to tire your spirit, to cloud your identity, to distort your perception. Because the moment you fully recognize your authority, the hold of darkness around you collapses. This is why heaven is bringing you into deeper awareness. Identity is warfare. You may notice old fears resurfacing, old memories shaking loose, or old patterns attempting to return. This is not regression, it is cleansing. Heaven is allowing what still clings to your spirit to rise so it can be released. You are being purified for a greater assignment. Chosen. One this season marks the transition from awakening to activation. The light within you is strengthening. Your discernment is sharpening. Your authority is rising. You are being positioned, refined, and prepared for influence you once did not believe you were worthy of. Stand firm. Guard your atmosphere. Trust the signals of your spirit. Heaven is shaping you for a destiny that your soul already remembers. By Chosen One. As this message comes to an end, your true beginning unfolds. You are stepping into a sacred Kairos moment where heaven's timing, your calling, and your awakening finally meet. Nothing in your journey was wasted. Every battle, every silence, every breakthrough has led you to this exact hour. You are sealed, strengthened, and commissioned to walk as one of the last descendants of the 144,000, carrying a light the world cannot extinguish. May divine wisdom steady your path. May angelic covering surround your steps, and may a deeper revelation guide your spirit with clarity and boldness. Move forward with quiet authority, Anointed One, knowing heaven goes before you and the earth recognizes your rising. If this word awakens something in you, you may write, "I accept my calling," as a sign of agreement. Go now with purpose and expectancy. Your appointed time has truly arrived.